Late Friday afternoon, it was announced that Republicans in the Senate had actually been working on a new version of their healthcare reform bill, this one known as the Graham-Cassidy bill. It was brought to most people's attention by Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer, tweeting out that we have got to stop this thing, and Republicans are very close to having enough votes to be able to actually pass it. As of Monday morning, it looks like, according to Republicans, they're only about one vote shy of having enough of a majority to get this thing passed. So, here's what this horrible piece of legislation would actually do to people in the United States. First and foremost, analyses are showing us that as many as 32 million people could lose their health insurance under this particular Republican version of the healthcare bill, effectively making it the most cruel version of healthcare reform that Republicans have proposed to date. Because keep in mind, their first version was going to kick 24 million people off. The second version was going to kick 22 million off. But apparently they've said, screw it, let's go big or go home. 32 million people right off the bat could lose their health care insurance. And the reason for that is because they want to repeal all of the subsidies from the federal government to low-income Americans that help to pay for their health insurance. They're going to reduce the Medicaid expansion, effectively taking that away from millions of people. And even more grants and subsidies are going to come off the top that are going to make people not be able to afford health insurance. But one of the worst aspects of this particular bill is the fact that it will allow insurance companies to raise your rates if you get sick. And I'm not talking about when you go to renew your health insurance policy. This particular piece of legislation would give health insurance companies clearance to, if you went to the doctor and got a diagnosis of cancer, your rates would immediately go through the roof and there's nothing you could do about it. Which is ironic considering the fact that the whole reason Republicans say they want to get rid of Obamacare is because premiums are increasing. And their legislation literally allows health insurance companies to raise your rates whenever the hell they feel like it, which doesn't solve any of the problems that we're having with healthcare in this country. Think about it this way. Right now, we have Democrats and an independent in the U.S. Senate that are working to pass a Medicare for All piece of legislation that would give healthcare insurance, healthcare coverage, or at least healthcare coverage access to everybody in this country. Republicans have proposed a piece of legislation that's going to kick 32 million people off their health insurance plans and allow insurance companies to raise your rates whenever they feel like it. If you get a cold, your insurance rates could increase if you go to the doctor. Now, which one of those parties sounds like one that has the best interest of the American public at heart? Because it sure as hell isn't the Republicans. If there are any people out there who voted Republican because they want Obamacare repealed, I suggest you start paying attention because clearly you haven't been. Republican legislation, specifically this Republican legislation, will result in the deaths of American citizens because Republicans are so damn greedy that all they care about are making sure we repeal those subsidies, give tax cuts to the wealthy, and let their donors from the healthcare industry continue to reap massive profits while screwing over American consumers. That is the only thing that this legislation will do for the United States. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see here on Ring of Fire, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel. You can see the little subscribe button down there, but if you're watching it on another device where you can't see it, go to youtube.com/TheRingOfFire, hit subscribe, be notified every time we get a new video.